हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू ऑनलाइन गुरु प्लेटफॉर्म पे आपका सहर्ष स्वागत है। टुडेज आवर टॉपिक ऑफ डिस्कशन इज रियोलॉजी पार्ट 2। फॉर वाचिंग द वीडियो ऑफ रियोलॉजी पार्ट 1 you can download our online app given from the Google Play Store. The link is been given in the description. And for the daily MCQs you can join our Telegram channel. The name is GPAT Online Guru. The link is been given in the description. Okay, then we will going to start with the lecture, that is the rheology part 2. What is rheology? First of all we are going to discuss it. Okay, then rheology is the flow of liquids, the science which deals with the flow of liquids and the deformation in solids. Okay, what is rheology? It is been concerned with the flow of liquids and deformation in solids. Means when we are going to apply any force or we are going to apply any pressure to the liquid or the solid, it is going to undergo flow or deformation. It is called as rheology. In the today's session we are going to discuss what is Newtonian liquids or Newtonian system as well as non-Newtonian liquids. Newtonian liquids, or it is also called as the systems which are going to obey the Newton's law of flow. Okay, the systems or liquids which are going to obey the Newton's law of flow are Newtonian liquids. See here, the liquids which are going to obey the law of Newton, that is Newton's law of flow. It is also called as Newton's law of viscosity. Okay, first of all we are going to discuss what is Newton's law of viscosity or Newton's law of flow. The rate of shear is directly proportional to the applied shearing stress. It is called as Newton's law of flow. See here, the rate of shear means the shearing stress of the liquid, okay, is directly proportional to the velocity gradient. It is also called as rate of shear. It is also called as shear strain. Okay, means how much pressure we are going to apply to any system, that much change in the system is going to take place. See here, this is the actual upper layer of the liquid. Okay, these are the bottom layers of the liquid. This is the applied shearing stress. This is the applied shearing stress. When we are going to apply this pressure to the upper layer of the liquid, this upper layer of the liquid is going to flow in the applied force. In this direction we are going to apply force. Hence this upper layer of the liquid is going to move in this forward direction. This is what is called as rate of shear. Means in this what will happen? In the rate of shear what will happen? There will be change in the velocity of this upper layer. The velocity of flow of this upper layer is going to get changed because we are going to apply a pressure or a shearing stress, okay, as compared to that of the lower adjacent layers. The lower adjacent layers are not going to move because there is no any pressure which is going to act on this bottom layers. Only the upper layer of the water is going to move. Why? Because we are going to apply the pressure to it. This pressure is called as shearing stress, and the change in the velocity of this particular upper layer of the liquid is called as rate of shear or shear strain. Okay, it is also called as velocity gradient. Means because there is a change in the velocity of the upper layer of the liquid. See here, what will happen? This is the normal container in which we are going to take the liquid solution. It may be water. When we are going to apply a shearing stress to this upper layer of the liquid, this upper layer of the liquid will move in the forward direction, and this is indicated by the dV. dV is the change in velocity. dV is change in velocity. Okay, because the velocity of the movement of this upper layer of liquid has been changed. The velocity of the liquid or flow is been increased in this upper layer of liquid, while that of the lower layer it is very less. Okay, the velocity of flow is less as compared to upper layer and with the bottom layers. Okay, this is what is called as the Newton's law of flow. Means when we are going to apply any pressure, when we are going to apply any force or shearing stress to any system, the system, if it is liquid, it is going to flow in the direction of the force which is been applied. This is called as rate of shear, and when this shearing stress is directly proportional to the rate of shear or the shearing strain, then we can say that that system or that liquid is going to follow the Newton's law of flow or Newton's law of viscosity. Hence that liquid is said to be known as Newtonian liquid or Newtonian systems. Okay, see here, this formula is been given, okay, where F is the shearing stress and G is the rate of shear. Means this F, which is a pressure which has been applied, is directly proportional to the rate of shear. This is the graph. This is the y-axis where it is being denoted by the rate of shear, and this is the x-axis denoted by the shearing stress, okay, indicated by F. And in the rate of shear, we are not only going to see the velocity gradient. We are not going to see the velocity gradient, but we are also going to see the actual displacement of the upper layer of the liquid with respect to the bottom layer, that is the adjacent layer. Okay, how much it is being displaced when we are going to apply some pressure. Here, when we are going to apply some pressure to the upper layer of the liquid, it is going to move in the forward direction. It is going to have some change in velocity or increase in velocity. But when we are going to apply some pressure, how much this upper layer of the liquid has been displaced, how much distance it has been covered or it has been traveled, we are also going to calculate it. It will be indicated by the dx. Therefore, we can get the rate of shear will be dV upon this dx. Okay, this will indicate the rate of shear, that is shear strain. Then we are going to discuss what is non-Newtonian system or non-Newtonian liquids. The liquids which are not going to obey the Newton's law of flow is called as non-Newtonian system. Okay, see here, the liquids which are not going to obey the Newton's law of flow. Okay, examples are suspensions, which is a biphasic thermodynamically unstable formulation in which the insoluble particles are being dispersed in the liquid phase, that is disperse phase, dispersion medium. Okay, and emulsion is a biphasic thermodynamically unstable preparation in which the dispersed phase may be in oil droplets dispersed in the water, that is dispersion medium. And semi-solids like ointments, creams or paste. Okay, we are going to divide this non-Newtonian systems into two parts. First one is the time independent and second one is the time dependent. Okay, what is time independent? If we are going to take one non-Newtonian system, okay, it is having a certain amount of viscosity. We are going to shake it, means we are going to apply some pressure, we are going to apply some shearing stress to it. Then what will happen? The viscosity of the liquid may change. It may increase or it may decrease. Okay, but the viscosity change is been permanent. It is not going to revert back to normal. This is what is called as time independent. Means after some time, when we are going to apply some shear stress, okay, it is going to lose or increase in viscosity, but it is not going to come back to normal even after standing for a long time. But in the case of time dependent system, if we are going to take one particular formulation, okay, we are going to take a suspension, apply some shearing stress, the viscosity of the solution is going to get decreased, but upon standing for after some time, this viscosity is going again back to the normal. The original viscosity is again going to be established or regained after standing for some duration of time. This is what is called as time dependent, because after some time the viscosity means the fluidity or viscosity that is of the original solution is again going to back to the normal. Okay, what is shearing stress of the liquid is not proportional to the velocity gradient, that is rate of shear. This is what is about the non-Newtonian system. Then under non-Newtonian system, we are going to see the first point, that is the plastic flow system. It is also known as Bingham bodies. Okay, Bingham bodies are the particular systems which are going to obey this plastic flow system. Okay, the bodies which is going to act like a plastic flow system are called as Bingham bodies. Okay, what is this plastic flow system? See here, we are going to take one formulation, we are going to apply some shearing stress. Still there is no change in the viscosity, there is no change in viscosity, or there is no change in shear rate. Okay, there is no change in shear rate for some time. When we are going to apply very small amount of pressure, when we are going to apply less amount of shearing stress to this particular solution, but there is no change in the shear rate for some time. But when we are going to apply increase amount of shearing stress, means we are going to apply increase amount of pressure to this particular solution, then what will happen? This solution will undergo some changes in the viscosity, means there is a change in the shear rate. There is change in the shear rate. This is what is called as plastic flow system. Means initially the plastic flow system are going to act like an elastic body. What is elastic body? The body which is going to resist the change in the deformation. Means suppose this is a particular elastic body. We are going to apply some pressure to this body. Okay, as it is elastic, it is not going to it is going to resist the change in the structure. Even if I am applying this pressure, as it is elastic, it is not going to get deformed. This is what is called as elasticity. Means in the case of plastic flow system, initially when we are going to apply less amount of shearing stress, there is no change in the shear rate. But when we are going to apply a greater amount of shearing stress, there will be the change in the shear rate. Okay, this is what is called as the plastic flow system. See here, plastic flow system, in this the actual curve, the plot is not coming from the origin. It is not going through the origin. This is the origin. The actual curve is not coming from the origin. Okay, but the actual curve is been going to start with the, it is going to intersect to the x-axis. This is the x-axis which is going to denote the shearing stress. See here, even if till this, it is, the body is acting like a non-Newtonian liquid. Till this point, even if we are going to apply the shear stress, till this point, this shear stress is very less. To make a change in the shear rate, the shear rate is not going to get established. Okay, at this point, actually this is the yield value. Okay, after the yield value, the actual rate of shear is going to increase. Means initially this is going to act as a plastic, it is going to act as a plastic body or elastic body. Okay, after achieving the yield value, the actual graph is going to start. Means the shearing stress is going to be directly proportional to the rate of shear. Okay, this is what is called as the plastic flow system. In this plastic flow system, initially it is going to behave like a elastic body. Then after some time it is going to behave or show the properties of Newtonian liquids. Okay, above the yield value. See here, the rate of shear is directly proportional to the shearing stress, but above the yield value. This is the yield value. Okay. Then the materials which are going to exhibit the property of the plastic flow system. Okay, they are called as Bingham bodies. These systems are going to show the property of the plastic flow. Hence, they are called as Bingham bodies. Then we are going to discuss the examples of the plastic flow system. Example is flocculated suspension, then ointments, gels, paste and butter. Okay, we are going to discuss an example of the flocculated suspension. Flocculated suspension is the suspension in which there is floccules are present. Okay, see here, the small particles, take an example. These are the small insoluble particles which are dispersed in the dispersion medium. It may be water. This is the solid insoluble particles. These solid insoluble particles after some times will come together and they will form an aggregate. These are the loose aggregates. This is the loose aggregates. Okay, these solid particles will come together and they will form a loose aggregates. These aggregates are called as floccules. These aggregates are called as floccules. Here, these are the solid insoluble particles. They are going to come together and they will form a loose aggregates. These loose aggregates are called as floccules. Okay, these are called as floccules. And it will formulate a flocculated suspension. But when we are going to apply some shearing stress, means when we are going to shake this suspension of flocculated suspension, what will happen? See here, this is the particular aggregate. This is the loose aggregate of the flocculated suspension. This is a floccule. When we are going to apply the shearing stress, then there will be breakage of the cohesive forces. See here, these loose aggregates are formed due to intermolecular interaction or cohesive forces between the molecules. After application of the shearing stress, what will happen? These cohesive forces are going to break. Okay, hence the molecules will going to go away from each other and hence it will form as a, it will remain as a segregate particles. It will remain as a separate molecules and hence what will happen? It will going to decrease the viscosity of the formulation. Okay, and when we are going to apply some more shearing stress, then what will happen? That is increased shearing stress. The molecules is going to flow because we are going to increase the pressure on that particular system. Hence, they are going to flow. Initially, they are in the form of floccules. When we are going to apply some pressure, the actual cohesive forces or the intermolecular forces which are acting between the two or more molecules present in the floccules, the cohesive forces is going to break down. And hence, due to this lack of cohesive forces, the molecules will go away from each other. See here. And what will happen? Even after further application of the shearing stress, the molecules will start to flow. This is what is about the flocculated suspension. And what is yield value? Okay, what is yield value? Yield value is the actual stress. It is the actual shearing stress which is used to break the intermolecular interaction between the floccules. Here, yield value is the stress. It is the shearing stress which is required to break the interparticle contacts, means the cohesive forces, okay, or the intermolecular forces which are present between the two or more molecules, so that these molecules will be separated from each other. Okay, then the yield value, when the yield value is going to exceed further, there will be increase in the shearing stress and it will be directly proportional to the rate of shear. See here, this is a graph. When there is a yield value is there, after this yield value only the rate of shear is going to be directly proportional to the shearing stress. This is the shearing stress, this is the shear rate. Okay, till this yield value there is no directly proportionality between the rate of shear and shearing stress. After exceeding the yield value, there will be actually the curve or a graph which is going to be plotted, which will indicate the rate of shear or shearing stress is directly proportional to the rate of shear. Then pseudoplastic flow system, it is also called as shear thinning system, because when we are going to apply the shearing stress to this system, there will be decrease in the viscosity of the system. But the actual mechanism we are going to see now. See here, pseudoplastic flow system, the viscosity of the liquids is going to get decreased when we are going to increase the shear rate. Means when we are going to increase the actual shearing stress, the viscosity of the liquids is going to get decreased. Okay, then what will happen? The curve will start from the origin. See, the curve will start from this origin itself. When we are going to increase the shearing stress, the shear rate is also going to increase, but the curve is not straight, but the curve is going to move like this. Okay, there is a slight curve. It is not a straight line. Okay, the examples of the pseudoplastic flow system are suspensions, emulsions, travagant, sodium carboxymethyl cellulose, then sodium alginate methyl cellulose in water. Then we are going to discuss the actual mechanism of the pseudoplastic flow system. We are going to take an example of the long chain polymers. Here, these are the long chain polymers. Okay, many of times these long chain polymers, when at rest, when there is no any shear stress applied, these polymeric molecules, the long chain polymeric molecules at rest, they are being arranged randomly. See here, orientation here is random. There is no proper orientation. They are randomly dispersed here and there. Okay, these polymeric molecules. Okay, and these are the water molecules. This is the water. This is the entrapped water, which is entrapped between the polymeric molecules, the long chain polymeric molecules which are randomly dispersed. There is an entrapment of water between these polymeric solutions, polymeric particles. Okay, then what will apply? When we are going to apply some shearing stress, then what will happen? On application of shearing stress, these molecules will align in a long axis. See here, the molecules will align in a long axis which are parallel to each other. See here, these molecules are going to align in a parallel direction with each other along a single long axis. Then what will happen? There will be decreased resistance. Here will be decreased resistance, decreased internal resistance between the molecules. Here, in this case, the molecules are very close to each other, very randomly placed in a random orientation. Therefore, there will be some frictional resistance. There will be some internal resistance which is acting between these polymeric molecules. But when we are going to apply the shearing stress, what will happen? The molecules are going to align in single direction, in a unidirectional direction. Okay, then what will happen? When the molecules are going to align in a unilateral direction, okay, then they are going to align along the long axis. Therefore, the water molecules which are present inside the particular, see here, the water molecules were entrapped between these polymeric substances. These water molecules are going to release out. These water molecules will going to release out from the entrapped cavities or the entrapped pores of the polymeric molecules. Then what will happen? These water molecules will come outside and they are going to make the solution very dilute, and hence it is going to decrease the viscosity of the solutions. See here, when we are going to apply the shearing stress, what will happen? The molecules are going to align in a long axis. This is a long axis. Then what will happen? There will be decreased internal resistance between the molecules. See here, there is a resistance here, but here there is no resistance. There is no internal resistance between the molecules. Hence the viscosity of the solution is going to decrease. And also there is another property. It is called as weighting. See here, weighting of a liquid, weighting of a solid particle. This is a solid particle. This is a liquid. When this liquid is going to weight this solid particle, this phenomenon is called as weighting. What is weighting? Weighting is the ability of a liquid to make a contact with a solid. Okay. Ability of a liquid to make a contact with a solid surface. It is called as the weighting. What will happen if the water content which has been released, okay, the water is been released from the particular polymeric molecules. The water is been released from the polymeric molecules. Okay, this water will increase the dilution. This water will increase it will make the dilute solution, and hence it will decrease the viscosity, because dilution will decrease the concentration, and decrease in concentration is directly proportional to the decrease in the viscosity, and hence as the solution is going to get more dilute, it is going to become less viscous. Then next point is dilatant flow system. They are also called as shear thickening system. Means when we are going to apply some shearing stress, there is increase in the viscosity of the system. Okay, see here, the example is given here. When we are going to apply any shearing stress to the system, it is going to increase the resistance to the flow. Means increase in the resistance to the flow is the viscosity. Okay, and it is also going to increase the rate of shear. Okay, in this we are going to discuss the main important points, that a suspension with the high solid concentration, okay, greater than 50%. Okay, this is the example of dilatant system of small deflocculated particles. Then suspension of starch in water. The next example is inorganic pigments in the water. Okay, these are the examples of the dilatant flow system. In this dilatant flow system, the increased rate of shear will be increase the viscosity of the system or the liquid. Then we are going to discuss the mechanism, how the application of shear stress is going to increase the viscosity of the system. See here, the dilatant these are the molecules of the system. This is the actual solvent. Okay, what will happen? These molecules of the system are very closely packed. Okay, initially these molecules of the system are very closely packed. These are closely packed together, and there is very less amount of void space. Void space means the actual gap. Void space means the actual gap between the molecules. These small molecules, there are having some gaps. These gaps are called as void spaces, and in these void spaces there is enough amount of solvent. It may be water which is present between the void spaces. Hence all the molecules are being weighted properly. We have discussed weighting phenomenon. Means the liquid is going to weight the complete solid. Means the ability of liquid to make a contact with a solid. It is called as weighting. Okay, see here. Therefore, the void space is already filled with water. It is sufficient water, and hence what will happen? This solids, there is very minimum void space in which the water is been present. But when we are going to apply or increase the shearing rate or shearing stress, then what will happen? The molecules, the intermolecular forces, here there are some cohesive forces. There are some cohesive forces or intermolecular forces which is present between them, which is going to hold them together. But when we are going to apply the shearing stress or the pressure, these cohesive forces or intermolecular forces are going to break down. It is going to break down. Okay, and what will happen? The molecules will move away from each other. See here, molecules are moving away from each other, and hence the void space between the two or more molecules is been increased. Therefore, increase in the void space, then what will happen? The solvent is very less, the water is very less to fill this entire void space. There is no sufficient water to fill this void space. Then what will happen? The concentration of the molecules is going to increase and the solvent system is very less. Therefore, the solution will become more concentrated. See here, already there is large void space and there is less amount of water or the solvent to fill this void space. Hence, the system will become more concentrated. Hence, it is going to increase the viscosity of the system. Okay, and also there is one property which is called as the weighting property. The molecules of the solid particles also are not going to completely weighted by the water. Water is very less. It is insufficient solvent. Water is very less. Therefore, complete particles, all the solid particles of the system are not going to get weighted with the help of this solvent. Hence, what will happen? The solution is going to become more and more viscous. Okay, this is how upon application of the shearing stress, there is increase in the viscosity of the system. It is called as dilatant flow system or shear thickening system. The next phenomenon we are going to discuss, it is the time dependent system of the non-Newtonian liquids or system. It is called as thixotropy. What is thixotropy? It is isothermal, comparatively slow recovery of the liquid upon standing, whose consistency was been lost upon the application of the shearing stress. See here, when we are going to speak with respect to thixotropy, the substances or the system which are going to show the property of thixotropy, we are going to study now. See here, it is isothermal, means it is going to have a constant temperature or same temperature. The temperature is not going to get changed. Comparative slow recovery of the liquid means when we are going to apply a shearing stress to any liquid, suppose this is a liquid which is a viscous liquid, upon application of the shearing stress, this liquid is going to become very dilute. It is going to decrease the viscosity upon application of shearing stress. Then upon standing for some time, after some time, when we are going to remove the shearing stress, again this particular less viscous solution is going to back to the normal original viscous formulation. That is, it is going to again regain its viscosity. Suppose this is a A and this is a B. Okay, this is a B. This is a viscous solution. We are going to apply shearing stress. This is going to become less viscous solution. Upon standing, okay, upon standing means removal of shearing stress. This is the C. This C is having the same viscosity as that of A. Means again this upon standing or removal of shearing stress, this system is again going back to the normal. That is, it is going to have a original viscosity. Okay, this is what is called as thixotropy. Okay, whose consistency was lost during shearing stress, because when we are going to apply the shearing stress, this consistency has been lost. The consistency has been decreased, means the solution viscosity has been decreased upon application of shearing stress. It is called as thixotropy. The substances who are going to show this property means initially upon application of shearing stress, the viscosity is going to reduce, and upon removal of the shearing stress, again it is going to regain its viscosity. This property is called as thixotropy, and the substances who are going to show the property of the thixotropy are called as the thixotropic systems. Okay, it will consist of the plastic and pseudoplastic system. Okay, some gels are there which are going to convert into the fluid, that is the solution form, when we are going to shake it, okay, or stir it. Then again they are going to revert back to the original state. This is a gel. When we are going to apply shearing stress, it is going to convert into sol. Upon removal of shearing stress or upon standing, again it is going to form a gel. This is what is called as thixotropy. This is the example of the pseudoplastic and plastic system. This is the actual graph of shear rate to the shearing stress. This is the graph of plotted of the shearing stress against the shear rate for the thixotropic systems. It will consist of the two systems, the pseudoplastic system and the plastic system. Then see here, initially it was gel. When we are going to apply shearing stress, at rest the formulation is in the form of gel. When we are going to apply the shearing stress, the formulation is going to convert into solution form, because the actual cohesive forces or the intermolecular forces between the particular two or more molecules is going to break down due to the application of pressure, that is shearing stress. Hence, due to the breaking of the bonds, the molecules will go away from each other and it will convert into the solution at equilibrium. Again, when we are going to remove the shearing stress, or upon standing, upon removal of stress, it is again the molecules which are going to move away from each other. They are going to come together due to the cohesive forces. Again, there is a built up of the cohesive forces between the two or more molecules, and it is going to form a viscous gel. Okay, this is how the thixotropy is going to takes place in the particular systems. See here the pathway. When the gel is present in a viscous form, this is present in a viscous form with a high consistency. When we are going to apply some shearing stress, what will happen? The molecules, the contacts, means the cohesive forces or intermolecular forces between the molecules. Okay, this is the cohesive forces between the molecules is going to break down, and the gel is going to convert into solution form. It is having a very less consistency. Then what will happen? Upon standing or removal of stress or shearing stress, what will happen? Again, these molecules are going to come together due to the cohesive forces. The cohesive forces are again going to get developed, and hence these molecules are going to come together and they are going to attain the original viscous state. See here, gel is there. There is an intermolecular forces acting between the gel, the molecules of the gel. We are going to remove these cohesive forces or intermolecular forces by the application of shearing stress. Therefore, the molecules will move away from each other and make the solution dilute, or the gel is going to convert into solution form. Upon removal of the stress or the shearing stress, or upon standing, again there will be generation of the aggregates due to the development of cohesive forces. Again, cohesive forces are going to build up and they are going to bring together the particular molecules. The molecules are going to again come together and it is going to convert into gel, which is of the original viscosity. It is going to attain the original viscosity which was been previously before application of the shearing stress or the pressure. We are going to discuss one example. It is procaine penicillin injection. It will show the example or property of the thixotropy. See here, when we are going to take a procaine penicillin injection, initially this procaine penicillin injection is in the form of gel. This is in the form of gel. When we are going to draw that particular, this is a vial. When we are from that vial, when we are going to draw the solution, we are going to draw the gel from that particular syringe into our syringe. Then what will happen? There is a pressure which is been generated while drawing the injection. We are going to draw the injection. There is a pressure which is been generated. This pressure is called as shearing stress. Therefore, due to pressure, there is breakage of the cohesive forces between the molecules, and the gel is going to convert into the solution form. See here, this is the gel which is going to convert into solution form. Okay, now it is very easy to administer drug because the gel, see here, this is the syringe, this is the syringe, which is the drug present is in the solution form. Hence, we can administer this solution to the patient. Okay, when we are going to give this particular syringe into, this is the muscle, this is the muscle. When we are going to give this intramuscular injection or syringe into the muscle of the patient, then there will be this solution which has received the shearing stress. Okay, this shearing stress, we are again going to apply some shearing stress due to the force. When we are going to inject the injection or the syringe inside or drug inside the particular muscle, there is again pressure generated which will maintain the solution form of the system or the drug. But when we are going to inject this particular drug into the muscle, there will be increase in the consistency of the system. Why? Because here after some time the solution form is going to revert back to the gel due to the thixotropy. Again there will be development of cohesive forces, and hence after administration of the drug there is again development of the cohesive forces between the molecules, and the molecules are going to come together and they are going to form a gel with a high viscosity, and this is going to form a depot of a gel. From this depot, the drug is going to slowly release. The drug is going to slowly release into the bloodstream. This is the bloodstream or systemic circulation, and hence we are going to get a prolonged or sustained release of the drug and prolonged duration of action of the drug. Okay, see here, this is the skin, this is the subcutaneous area or where the subcutaneous injection is given, and this is where the intramuscular injection is being given. We are going to give the injection in this area, which will form a depot, because the solution which was formed after the application of pressure or shearing stress is again going to convert into gel and form a depot at the site of intramuscular injection. Then it is going to form a particular depot from where the drug is going to release in a sustained manner, and we are going to get a prolonged duration of action. Then we are going to discuss the anti-thixotropy. It is also called as negative thixotropy. It will represent the increase in consistency or the down curve. Means initially the system was in the solution form. When we are going to apply some pressure or shearing stress, here it is going to convert into gel form, and upon standing or removal of shearing stress, it is again going to convert into the solution form. Okay, see here, it is the reverse of thixotropy. In thixotropy we have seen the gel is converted into sol, and upon removal of stress again the gel solution is going to convert into gel. But in this case initially it is solution. When we are going to apply shearing stress, it is going to convert into gel, and again it is going to convert to sol after removal of the shearing stress or standing. Okay, example is milk of magnesia. Initially it is present in a solution form at rest, but when we are going to apply some shearing stress or when we are going to shake or stir this system, it is going to convert into the gel. Okay, it will convert into the gel form. This is what is called as anti-thixotropy or negative thixotropy. The example of the anti-thixotropy is polyethylene glycol. It is a semi-solid formulation. Okay, at a resting state, the system is going to have a large number of individual particles or small molecules. Here, this at rest state or at resting state, the molecules present in a solution form are at rest. They are present as a loose, they are going to act as a individual particles. They are not going to aggregate with each other. Okay, they are going to remain separately as a individual particles. But when we are going to apply some shearing stress, what will happen? Due to the shearing stress, these molecules are going to come together. Why it is so? Because due to molecular collisions, when we are going to apply some pressure, here application of the pressure to these molecules, this molecule we are going to apply pressure, it is going to move forward and collide with this molecule. Collision of one molecule to the another molecules, what will happen? There will be development of intermolecular forces. There will be development of cohesive forces due to this molecular collisions. And what will happen? Finally, there will be generation of interparticular bonding. There is a formation of bond between two or more molecules. Okay, and finally the solution form is going to convert into gel form. This is a more viscous form. This is a more viscous form. And after some time, what will happen? We are going to remove the shearing stress. Upon removing of this pressure or the shearing stress, the molecular collision are going to stop. The molecular collision are going to stop. Then what will happen? After some time, again this cohesive forces, this interparticular bonding is going to lose. Then due to the removal of the particular shearing stress, there will be no molecular collisions, and therefore the interparticular bonding or the cohesive forces is going to remove or is going to get eliminated, and upon standing or removal of shearing stress, again the molecules are going to exist as individual particles, and the particular system is going to be converted from gel to the solution form. This is how the anti-thixotropy is going to work. This is the actual mechanism of the anti-thixotropy we are going to see in the polyethylene glycol. Then rheopexy. It is an important phenomenon. It is a phenomenon in which the solution is going to convert into gel. The solution at rest is going to convert into gel. Means we are going to place a solution. After some time, it is going to convert into gel. Even if we are not applying any pressure, even if we are not applying any shear stress, it is readily converting into gel from solution form. This is called as rheopexy. It is also one phenomenon that when we are going to apply very little amount of pressure, a gentle pressure or gentle shaking or gentle shear stress can also induce the change in the from solution to the gel form. Okay, solution is going to convert into gel. At rest or gentle stirring or gentle shaking means less amount of pressure we are going to apply. Okay, then we are going to discuss finally the application of thixotropy, where the thixotropy property is useful, or what is the application of thixotropy. See here, greater the thixotropy means in high the thixotropy, higher is the physical stability of the suspension. Why it is so? See here, initially the suspension is going to be in the viscous form. It is example of flocculated system. In flocculated suspension, the suspension, there are floccules present in the suspension. See here, in a flocculated suspension, there is a loose aggregates of the insoluble particles. These are called as floccules. This is called as floccules. These are the loose aggregates. At rest, when we are going to shake it, and what is the advantage of this flocculated system? This system, this particular floccules are not going to sediment, because when the system is, there is a floccules which are present in the suspension, this floccules is going to increase the viscosity of the system. Due to increase in viscosity, there is no sedimentation, there is decreased sedimentation of the particles in the particular system. Therefore, the suspension is going to remain more stable. But what will happen when we are going to shake it, when we are going to apply some shearing stress, these floccules, the cohesive molecule, the cohesive forces or intermolecular forces present in these loose aggregates, that is floccules, is going to break down. Therefore, breakage of these intermolecular forces, the molecules will release, they will move away from each other and they will remain as a separate individual molecules. And hence the flocculated suspension is going to convert into deflocculated suspension. And what will happen? The solution after shaking, it was initially very viscous, it is going to become of less consistency, it is going to become less viscous, and as it is less viscous, we can pour it, we can consume it. It is very easy to consume the less viscous formulation. Okay, and after standing, after removal of shearing stress here, again it is going to back to the normal form, that is solution form. Okay, see here, at rest we are going to take one suspension, it is present in a solution form. When we are going to apply some shearing stress in the form of shaking, it is going to convert into gel form due to the formation of some cohesive forces. Okay, actually what will happen, we are going to take one, this is the gel form, this is the gel form. When we are going to apply some shearing stress, this gel, this bonds between the molecules is going to break down and this is going to convert into sol form. This was in the gel form suspension is going to convert into sol form, means the more viscous formulation is going to convert into less viscous formulation. And upon standing, means removal of shearing stress, again this particular solution form, there is a development of cohesive forces and the intermolecular forces which is going to convert this solution form into the gel form. This is how the thixotropy play an important role in the flocculated suspension. Then we are going to discuss the next application. The degree of thixotropy is related to the specific surface of the penicillin use. See here, we have already discussed the procaine penicillin injection. When we are going to administer, it will contain 40 to 70% of procaine penicillin G in water. It will have high consistency, means it is having a high viscosity. Okay, when we are going to inject this formulation, see here, when we are going to inject this formulation inside the muscle, this is a syringe, we are going through the needle, we are going to inject this formulation inside the muscle. What will happen when we are going to apply the pressure to introduce the drug into the muscle? The structure of suspended particles, as the in the gel, they are previously in the gel form and they are in the aggregate form. There is some cohesive forces between the molecules. When we are going to apply this shearing stress, that is pressure, there is a breakage of the cohesive forces. The intermolecular forces between the molecules is going to break down and the gel form of the formulation is going to convert into solution form, so that the drug, through this fine needle, the drug which is present in a solution form can easily move through this needle inside the muscle. inside the muscle through the intermuscular route, and hence the drug can be introduced inside the muscle. But after some time, when we are going to introduce the drug inside the muscle via intramuscular injection, the solution, the shearing stress is been removed. Now the shearing stress has been removed. Then again there is a formation of gel. There is again the formation of depot in the form of gel. As the shearing stress has been removed, there is again formation of cohesive forces between the molecules, and again there is a formation of gel. Okay, this is what is the application of thixotropy in the particular procaine penicillin injection formulations. See here, then what will happen further? After injection, the original structure of the gel is been rebuilt. Means there is again build up of the intermolecular forces, and it is going to form a loose aggregates to form a viscous gel. See here, and the depot of injection in the muscle is going to release the drug very slowly for a prolonged duration of time, and hence there will be increase or longer duration of pharmacological effect. See here, the suspension is present in a gel form. When we are going to administer this particular formulation through syringe inside the particular muscle, when we are going to apply some pressure, it is going to convert into solution form due to the shearing stress. Again, when it is going to, we are going to remove the shearing stress, there is a formation of depot in the form of gel, and from this gel the drug is going to slowly release. See here, from this gel there is a formation of depot from where the drug is going to slowly release its contents into this bloodstream, and we are going to have a prolonged duration of pharmacological action. Means we are going to have a prolonged pharmacological effect of the drug. This is what is the application of the thixotropy. Then thank you. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss some of the viscometers which are being involved to determine the viscosity of the Newtonian as well as non-Newtonian liquids. Okay, then again I'm going to tell you one particular suggestion, that if you want to attend the daily MCQ quiz, then you can go to our Telegram channel. The link is been given in the description. Okay, and for the government exams related to the pharmacy sector, means pharma government exams, you can go in our Telegram channel, where you can get along with the pharmacy questions, you are also going to get the general knowledge questions or the aptitude questions which are primarily asked in the government pharma related examinations. Then thank you.